Hello students, in last class we talked about lens, we derived lens formula, lens maker's formula, right. We understood what primary and secondary focus means and how to calculate it as well, right. So, this is basically the summary of what we have seen last time. So, we have understood that this is the general formula for refraction happening at surfaces successively, right, one after the other. If refraction is happening, we understand it as refractive index of final medium by V final by V minus initial by U is equal to, here there are two interfaces. In the case of lens we have two interfaces. So, we only wrote two parameters. If there are multiple interfaces, we will just add all of them, second minus first by R, second minus first by R, so on, correct. Okay, that is this, and then we derived this lens maker's formula by applying the concept of focus into this equation, right. So, that gave us this relation, and similarly using that we derived lens formula, correct. So, these are the concepts which we discussed in last class. Now, there is one important thing which you will have to keep in mind. So, these two expressions which we have derived, if you remember correctly, these are valid, or there are some assumptions which we have taken in this case, which is that the lens has same medium on both the sides. On both the sides we have mu naught and this is mu L, correct. Only under that assumption we have derived these two, whereas this is a general formula. So, one side is mu 1 and the other side is mu 2, clear. So, but these two expressions are valid when this is the scenario, clear students. So, based on that we have derived this. So, now let us try to understand how to deal with such cases. For example, if we have mu 1 on one side and mu 2 on the other side. So, if the lens are having different refractive indices on either side, so then we cannot use this lens maker's formula for such a scenario. So, do not use that. So, keep this point in mind. So, only when the medium is same on both the sides you can apply lens maker's formula, otherwise that is wrong, you cannot apply it. You will have to go back to the general equation and then apply the concept there. So, what I am trying to say is, for example, if we have a lens like this, let us say with mu 1 on one side and mu 2 on the other side, clear, and if the refractive index of this lens is mu L. So, this lens behaves in different manner depending on which direction the light is incident, clear. So, if I have a lens like this, whether the light is incident from this side or this side, it behaves in the same manner, its focal length will be the same, clear, because even in this case it is coming from mu naught and finally going into mu naught. Even in this case it is coming from mu naught and finally going into mu naught. But if the medium on either side is different, then light coming from this direction and light coming from this direction will have different nature, which means, let me write it down as a statement here, focal length of lens will depend on the direction of incident light, clear. So, if the medium is different, then it depends on which direction the light is being incident. So, we will see some examples based on that, and you know how to calculate the focal length, right. The basic concept for calculation of focal length is, focal length basically means the distance at which secondary focus is present, correct. We have discussed this earlier. So, for finding focal length, please keep this in mind, this is a very important thing, I have told you in last class also. For finding focal length for any system, this is the concept you will be using. So, make u infinity and your V will be f. So, make u infinity, your V is f. So, which means make parallel light rays coming and striking that system and look at where those are converging. So, that will give you the focal length. So, we will use this concept and we will try to find focal lengths for a lens with different medium on either side. We will see that in an example now, clear. Students, let us see this question now. So, they have basically given a lens, so with air on one side and water on the other side, and they have given us that the radius of curvature of the lens is 20 centimeters on both the surfaces, and refractive index of the lens is given, refractive index of water is also known. They are asking us to find out the focal length of this system, which means the lens air water system for light which is incident from air medium and from water medium. So, if light is incident in this manner, so if light is coming from that side, so what will be the focal length that is offered by this system to that light? Clear? So, that is a basic idea. See, I have told you earlier that whenever they are asking you to find focus, or find focal length, the first thing that should come to your mind is they are basically talking about the secondary focus, correct? They are talking about secondary focus. Clear, students? So, secondary focus is what they will calculate, which means they are asking you to find the value of V if U is infinity. So, considering that light rays are coming parallelly, so if light rays are coming parallelly from air medium, where do they converge in water? Clear? That will be the focal length for the first case, right? Now, in the second case, if light rays are coming parallelly from the water medium, where will they converge in the air medium, right? So, that is what will be the focal length for the second case. So, that is the idea. So, let us solve that. So, first case, let us solve for light rays which are coming from air medium. So, if light rays are travelling like this and if they are incident on this particular lens, so let us write the equation. So, for such a lens with different medium on either side, we will have to use the general formula, correct? We can't use lens formula. Lens formula is only applicable for medium if medium is same on both the sides. So, let us use the general formula, which is mu final by, or in this case mu final is water. So, mu water by V minus mu initial is air. So, mu air, which is 1 by U, is equal to mu 2 minus mu 1 by R1, mu water minus mu lens by R2, correct. So, that is what I will write in this case. So, mu lens minus 1 by R1 plus mu water minus mu lens by R2. Clear, students? I have just written the general formula here. So, I have not made any substitutions also, right. Let us substitute it now. So, this is what we will have to calculate. We have to find V when U is infinity, right. So, if I do that, if I substitute U as infinity here and V as F, so I will be getting mu water by F is equal to, what is that value? Mu lens is 3 by 2 minus mu air is 1. So, 3 by 2 minus 1 will be 1 by 2 divided by R1. What is R1 in this case? R1 is 20 centimeters. Is it plus or minus? So, this is how the curvature is, correct. So, which means it will be on this side. So, positive. So, plus 20 plus mu water minus mu L by R2. So, mu water has the refractive index is 4 by 3. So, 4 by 3 minus 3 by 2. How much is 4 by 3 minus 3 by 2? So, you will be getting 8 minus 9 by 6, so which is minus 1 by 6. So, minus 1 by 6 by R2. What is the value of R2? So, magnitude is 20, but the curvature is on this side, the center is on this side, so negative. So, minus 20. So, that is it, minus and minus gets cancelled, and if I solve this, I will get, let me substitute mu water as well, which is 4 by 3. So, solving this will give me how much? This is 4 by 3f is equal to 1 by 40 plus 1 by 120. So, if I take LCM, LCM would be 120, 3's, 3 1's, so 3 plus 1, 4. So, which means 1 by 30, right. So, this is equal to 1 by 30. So, 3 here and 3 here gets cancelled, and I will get the value of F as 40 centimeters. Clear students? I got the value of f as positive. So what does that mean? F is equal to positive represents that it still behaves like a converging lens. It behaves like a converging lens even in this case. Clear? I have told you that whenever a lens is separated by a medium having higher refractive index, its nature will change, right. So here that is not happening. This is generally a converging lens. Even in this scenario where we have air on one side and water on the other side, even in that case it is behaving like a converging lens. Clear? Okay. So we have only done one part of the question. There is another part. So what we have done here is for light traveling from air medium. So light is incident in air medium. So this is for the first question, right. So now if you look at the second part for this, in this scenario we know that the light rays are traveling from this direction, right. So we will have to completely change the diagram altogether. So if I draw that here for understanding, so we have the lens in this manner and the light rays will be now incident in this direction, correct. So this is water, this is air and this is the lens medium. Okay, so light is now incident from this side and we need to find out where it converges. The point or the distance at which it converges will be the focal length of that lens for light coming from that side. Clear? So keep in mind, when the medium is different on either side, the focal length for light coming from this side and for light coming from this side will be different. So that is what we are calculating here. Okay. So let us write a similar expression for this case also, which we have written here. So how do we write final medium? What is the final medium in this case? Air by V minus initial medium is this water. So 4 by 3U is equal to, what should I write here? So light is coming from this side, correct. So first you take this interface. For this interface write the final minus initial. What is that? Mu lens minus mu water. So mu lens, let me write the values itself. 3 by 2 minus 4 by 3 divided by R2 this is, I should be writing R2 here, but let us substitute the value directly. So what is the value I should substitute for this? The value is 20, right, 20 centimeters, but is that 20 positive or negative? So don't think that because this has a curvature like this, center is on this side means negative. That is not how we should understand, right. So which side is negative and which side is positive depends on the direction of incident rays. So here the light rays are incident in this direction, correct, which means this side is positive and this side is negative. So here for this I should be substituting plus 20, for this I should be substituting minus 20, right. Okay, let us do that. So by plus 20. Clear students? Next, plus, now coming to this interface. So if I take this interface, final is 1, initial is 3 by 2 and this curvature is on that side. That side is negative for this case because light rays are now coming in this direction. Okay. So for this if I substitute, final is 1, initial is how much? 3 by 2. So minus 3 by 2 divided by, what is the value of R? For this I should substitute the value of R as minus 20, correct. So by minus 20. So that is it students. So now if I substitute the definition of focus, so make U infinity and the value of V will be focus, focal length. So 1 by F is equal to, this becomes 0, right. So is equal to, what is this, 3 by 2 minus 4 by 3. So we already found the reverse of that as minus 1 by 6. So this becomes plus 1 by 6 by 20 plus, so what is this, minus 1 by 2 by minus 20, which gives us 1 by 40. Clear? So 1 by 6 by 20, 1 by 120 plus 1 by 40. We have just calculated that as 1 by 30, right. So this value is the same, which is 1 by 30, correct. So, we get 1 by 30 here, which means focal length in this scenario will be equal to 30 centimeters. Clear, students? So, that is the idea. So, remember that this parameter, if you observe, this parameter we got it as same in both the cases. Even here we got it as 1 by 30, even here also we got it as 1 by 30. So, whether you substitute this value while coming from this side or from this side, you get the same value, same parameter, and but the focal length can be different. Why will the focal length be different? Because in one case you are making this 0 and in the other case you are making this 0, correct. So, that is why we have different focal length from different sides. So, if you observe closely, what we have to understand eventually from this is that the focal length of a lens which has different medium on both the sides will depend on which direction the light is incident. For light coming in this direction, it will have one focal length. For light coming from this direction, it will have a different focal length. Clear? So, students, let us see this question now. So, they have given us an equiconvex lens. So, equiconvex basically means a normal convex lens which has same magnitude of curvature for both the surfaces, clear. So, the curvature of this and this is same in magnitude. So, that is what we mean by equiconvex lens. Okay. So, now they are asking us to find out the condition for which it behaves like a diverging lens. So, in this case, if you observe, the medium on both the sides are different, correct. So, when the medium on both the sides are different, we know that we have to write the general expression for each surface, right, and then understand that equation, right. So, if you already know, if the medium was same, if the medium is same on both the sides, is same on both sides, then in that case what is the condition we will write for that to behave like a diverging lens? We can directly say that mu of surroundings should be greater than mu of lens. So, if this condition is met, then a converging lens will behave like a diverging lens and diverging lens as converging lens. So, this is something which we understood already from lens formula or lens maker's formula, correct. So, by using lens maker's formula we have seen that. So, in lens maker's formula we have this term, right, mu L by mu surroundings minus 1. So, this parameter will change its sign for this case. So, if lens is having lesser refractive index, this becomes negative. If lens is having a higher refractive index, this will be positive. So, that is the reason why if the surroundings have higher refractive index, the nature of the lens will change. Okay. Now, let us come back to this. In this case, we have to write the condition. So, they have given mu 1 on this side and mu 2 on this side, correct, sorry, mu 3 on this side and lens has mu 3. Okay. So, we know that in all these cases, whenever we have two interfaces with different media, so we should be writing the general expression, right, general expression meaning this one. So, mu final by V minus mu initial by U is equal to, so now write for each interface. For this interface, final minus initial, which is mu 2 minus mu 1 by R. So, interface is like this. So, R. So, considering that a parallel beam of light is incident in this manner, so I am writing this equation. For light which is incident in this manner, final is mu 3, initial is mu 1, and for this interface mu 2 minus mu 1 by R, should I take plus R or minus R? It will be plus R. Why? Because this is the interface which has its center on that side and light rays are also travelling that side, plus. Now, for this interface R will be negative, but the magnitude will be the same. Now, for this, what is final minus initial? Mu 3 minus mu 2. So, that is it. So, that is the expression which we would be getting. So, now they are asking us to write the condition for which the lens behaves like a diverging lens. So, remember that I have taken a parallel beam of light here. If I consider parallel beam of light, can I take U as infinity and I am going to take V as F. So, this is how we find the focus, right. So, if u is infinity, the corresponding value of v will become focal length. Now, think properly here and listen carefully. So, if you observe this particular expression, this will anyways become 0. So, do not worry about that. So, close this out, and now we have an expression which is like this. Can I say that if the value of f which I get here, this one, if this is a positive value, then these two light rays will converge on this side and it behaves like a converging lens, correct? Or if this value of f is a negative value, which means if this whole term, so I can say that if this whole term is positive, what happens if that is positive? So, if that whole term is positive, then f is positive, which means this case will happen. If this whole term is negative, in that case what is going to happen? This f becomes negative. F becomes negative means the light rays will diverge and the focus will be over here on the negative side. So, that is the idea, right. So, now what are they asking me to find out? They are asking me to write the condition for which this behaves like a diverging lens. So, for this to behave like a diverging lens, we can say that this f should become negative, f should be negative, which means this whole parameter here should be negative. So, that is it, that is the condition we can write. So, just simplify that. R is common in both, on both the sides. So, take R common. So, that becomes 1 by R into what do we have here, mu 2 minus mu 1, mu 2 minus mu 1, and because we have a negative sign here, I can write this as mu 2 minus mu 3. So, as they have given, this should be negative, correct. So, if that is negative, can I say that this parameter here should be negative? So, that is the condition. So, this parameter is negative means what? 2 mu 2 minus mu 1 plus mu 3 is less than 0, which means mu 1 plus mu 3 should be greater than 2 times mu 2. So, that is the final answer. So, if this condition is satisfied, then this lens will behave like a diverging lens, clear. So, the light rays which are incident on that, instead of converging in this manner, they diverge in such a way that they appear to converge behind. So, this is what will happen. So, light rays will go like this and they appear to converge at a point which is behind the lens. So, that is what we have written the condition for, clear. So, now we will understand the concept of magnification of lens or magnification produced by lens, right. So, magnification. So, we have discussed this in each of the earlier cases. We discussed this in mirrors for plane surface refraction, for curved surface refraction. So, everywhere we talked about this parameter. So, lens also produces magnification and we can easily derive that. The derivation of this will be very simple also. So, for example, let us say if there is an object which is placed here and it is having, let us call this object as OO dash. Okay. So, if the image of this is formed on the other side, let us say if this length is, this is point P, pole. So, OP is the object distance and let us say the image is formed on the other side somewhere over here in this manner like this, clear. So, we know that if I have to understand the relation between this height and this height, we know that if I consider a light ray which is passing through the pole of this lens, it will pass through undeviated and reach here. So, this would be I dash. So, the image of O will be I, the image of O dash will be I dash, correct. Okay. So, this is the idea. So, now in this case if I have to write magnification, so we know that magnification is nothing but this length by this length. Okay. So, this will be the image distance. So, magnification can be taken as I dash by O dash, correct. That is what I will have to calculate. So, this angle and this angle will be same. So I know that this triangle which you see, the small right angle triangle on the left and the one on the right, they are similar triangles. So because they are similar triangles, I can say this length by this length will be equal to this base length by this base length, correct, which means this should be equal to pi by oi, sorry, pi by op, correct. So now if you see here, once again all these are magnitudes. So if I have to convert that into a general relation, I will have to substitute the sign convention. So I will quickly write the sign convention for u, v, hi and ho. So let us write. So u is on this side, so u will basically be minus op according to the case which I have taken. So op is the magnitude, minus of op will be the object distance, correct. Now v is on this side itself, so this will be v, so I can write v is equal to plus pi. Hi, so image is below the principal axis according to what I have taken, so hi will be minus I dash, and ho is above the principal axis, so I can take it as plus oo dash. So that is it. So substitute this sign convention into the relation which we have here. So I dash can be taken as minus hi divided by oo dash is plus ho is equal to pi is plus v by op is minus u, correct. So just simplify this, minus and minus will get cancelled on either side, and I get hi by ho is equal to v by u. So that is it. This would be the final relation which we get. A very simple relation. So m is v by u, but remember whenever you are substituting, apply sign convention. Don't forget to apply the sign convention. So apply sign convention. And you already know what positive values and negative values of m represent, right. So the same thing which we have been discussing throughout this chapter. Now the same expression can also be derived in terms of its focal length. So just like how we did in the case of mirror, you remember the formula for magnification of mirror in terms of focal length. What is that? F by f minus u, correct. So in the same manner, let us derive the focal length of a lens in terms of, magnification produced by a lens in terms of focal length. So it would be like this. The basic lens formula will be 1 by v minus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f. I need to find the value of v by u, right. So what I will do is I will multiply both the sides with u. So if I multiply both the sides with u, I get u by v minus 1 is equal to u by f. So here can you say that u by v is nothing but inverse of magnification. So I will be getting 1 by m, I will send 1 to the other side. So 1 by m is equal to u by f plus 1, which can also be understood as u plus f by f, u plus f by f whole divided by f. So solving that will finally give me the value of magnification of the lens as f by f plus u. So once again, when using this expression, apply sign convention. For each and every parameter. So you should apply sign convention for u, you should apply sign convention for f as well. We did it in the case of mirrors also, right. So and once again I am reminding you, if you would have forgotten, convex lens, what is the sign of focal length for convex lens? Focal length is positive, and for concave lens, focal length is negative. So keep this in mind. What I have given here is in air medium, right. If they are in the medium of different refractive index, magnitude can change as well as sign also can change, right. Okay. So these are the values, right. So this is how we apply, and remember that whatever magnification which we have derived here is basically the lateral magnification. You know what lateral magnification means? Perpendicular to principal axis. So, it is called lateral magnification or transverse magnification also, clear. So, transverse is another term which we will be using for it, transverse. Okay, so that is it students about lateral magnification. So, in the same manner I can derive the expression for longitudinal magnification also. Let us quickly do that. So, longitudinal magnification. So, you know that this, for finding longitudinal magnification we will be using the method of point object moving by a small du distance and point image moving by a small dv distance, and if du is the object length then dv will be the image along principal axis, correct. So, which we have done in all the earlier cases. So, I will directly use that concept. So, for a lens we know that 1 by v minus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f. So, longitudinal magnification, in this case we are defining it as dv by du. So, keep that in mind, right. dv by du is what we call as longitudinal magnification, the small change in v by small change in u. So, that is how we define it, right. So, to find this value dv by du, I can differentiate this expression. If I differentiate this, what will I get? dv by v square with a negative sign minus du by u square with a negative sign is equal to derivative of 1 by f. 1 by f is a constant. So, when I differentiate it, I will be getting 0. So, that is it. So, simplify this, this goes on to the other side. I will be getting dv by du is equal to v square by u square. So, that is equal to m square, correct. So, dv by du is equal to m square. So, that is it, that is the expression which we would get. So, remember it is exactly the opposite sign for what we did in mirrors. So, in the case of mirrors, I will give you a brief difference between the mirror scenario and here. Let me write it separately over here, it will be clear for you to understand. So, in the case of mirrors, the formulae which we derived for magnification are minus v by u, which can also be written as f by f minus u, and longitudinal magnification value in that scenario is minus m square, correct. So, these are the results which we got in the case of mirror. Now, similarly, if I have to write for lens, so the magnification value in the case of lens is v by u, which we have just derived, and this can also be written as f by f plus u, and longitudinal magnification in the case of lens is m square. So, this is the summary of what we have just discussed. So, remember that there is the negative sign will be replaced with positive sign in the case of lens. So, that is the idea, students. Apart from that, rest is all same. Positive value means erect image, greater than 1 means magnified image, negative means inverted image. So, rest is all the same analysis, clear. So, let us see some examples based on this. So, now let us take an example which involves successive refractions and reflections, clear. So, you know that whenever light ray is undergoing multiple cases simultaneously, one after the other, one after the other. So, in the case of successive refractions or reflections, we can write the net magnification as magnification produced in the first device multiplied by magnification produced by the second device multiplied by magnification in third, and so on. So, if it undergoes multiple things, multiple effects. So, the first device, if it is producing M1 magnification, second is M2 and third is M3. So, we can just take the product of these 3 or whatever is the number of devices that we have. So, let us take one scenario and try to apply the concept of magnification to find out the final height of image, right. Okay. So, let us take a concave lens So, what do we call this lens as? We call this as equiconcave. If the radius of curvature is same on both the sides, it is called as equiconcave. Otherwise, if the radius of curvature is not same, you just call it as biconcave. So, biconcave means both the surfaces are concave. Equi means and they are equal in magnitude also, clear. So, let us just take it as a concave lens. So, this is a concave lens, fine. Let us say the focal length of this lens is given to us 20 centimeters. So, remember, by looking at this you should immediately understand that they have only given us the magnitude of focal length here, and they have given us that it is a concave lens because we need to understand what its sign is. They have not given the focal length with sign. Okay. So, remember, by looking at that nature of lens, we have to tell what is its sign of focal length. Okay. Let us get to that in a while. Let us say we have a plane mirror over here. So, a plane mirror, and there is an object which is placed here. Let us say it is a very small object with a height of 1 millimeter. So, height of object is equal to 1 millimeter. So, we need to find the height of image formed after all possible reflections and refractions. So, first thing that you will need to know here is what is going to happen in this scenario. If light rays are coming from here, if they go and strike the lens, you know that the lens will diverge the light rays. So, if light rays are coming like this, the light rays will be diverged, strike the mirror, and the mirror will once again diverge them, and they fall on the lens once again and then come out, clear. So, there are three things that I have to consider here. First is refraction through the lens, reflection from the mirror, refraction through the lens, and final image, and we need to find the final height of the image, correct. So, there are three things. So, first let us write the equation for first refraction. Why am I calling it as refraction? You know that lens basically does refraction. So, every lens will have two surfaces like this, and at both the surfaces refraction occurs. So, the property that happens in a lens is refraction only. Okay. Let us talk about this. So, first refraction, if I write the lens formula, okay, I have not given the distances. So, take the values as 20 centimeters and this also as 20 centimeters. So, all are 20 centimeters here. Okay. So, first refraction. So, if I write for this lens 1 by V minus 1 by U value is minus 20. So, minus 20 is equal to 1 by, what is F? 20, should I substitute 20? No, because it is a concave lens, I should substitute it as minus 20. So, that is it. So, simplifying this will give me, if this goes on to the other side, so it tells me that 1 by V is equal to, so 1 by V is equal to minus 1 by 20 minus 1 by 20, which is minus 1 by 10, correct. So, that is the expression which we would be getting. So, solving that will give me the value of V as minus 10 centimeters. So, now we draw the ray diagram. Ray diagram gives you an idea of what is happening there. So, if this is where the object is, and if you take one light ray which is incident from the object, so it bends slightly and it appears to come from a point which is at a distance of 10 centimeters, correct. Minus 10 means on this side. So, the light ray which was actually travelling like this has slightly bent away and it is appearing to come from this point, right. So, that is what has happened here. This is not a straight line, please keep that in mind. It might look so, but it is not. So, it is not meant to be a straight line. So, slight bend away from normal, away from principal axis. Okay. So, that is what happens. So, which means now this is where the light rays are coming from according to mirror. So, now what does the mirror do? So, the mirror will once again reflect this light rays. So, the light rays will be reflected back at the same angle with the normal, and mirror will make sure that the image of this is formed on the other side at the same distance. What is the distance of this from the mirror 20 plus 10, 30. So, which means the image is formed on the other side at a distance of 30 centimeters, correct. If you want to write that, so the second thing that is happening here is reflection. So, because there are 3, I have taken a simple mirror here, a plane mirror. If there is a concave mirror or a convex mirror, you write the mirror formula for that, you know that, right. So, this is not something which is new to you. Okay. So, yeah, where was I? So, plane mirror, right. So, second reflection, and for this the object distance will be minus 30, which means image distance for that would be plus 30. If you want, you can put a dash, because they are all intermediate objects and images. Okay. So, now this is where the light ray appears to come from for the lens once again. So, this lens will now think that the light rays which are falling on it are coming from this position. So, now light rays are coming in this direction, please keep that in mind, this direction is positive, clear. So, do not always think that this is the positive direction. So, third is once again refraction. Okay. So, I have to write lens formula. How do I write lens formula here? 1 by V minus, so from this is our lens, light rays are coming from here at a distance of 20 plus 30, which is 50, but this is the positive direction, object is on this side. So, I should take it as minus 50 is equal to 1 by f, right. What is f? I should substitute the value of f as minus 1 by 20, I mean 1 by minus 20, clear. So, that is it. So, we should solve that. So, I will be getting 1 by V is equal to minus 1 by 20 minus 1 by 50. So, which tells me that the value of V is equal to 20 into 50 by 20 plus 50. So, minus of 20 into 50 by 70, 0 and 0 gets cancelled, you will be getting minus 100 by 7 centimeters, clear. So, which means after here the light rays will further diverge away. What is 100 by 7? Roughly 13, not 13, 14 point something centimeters. So, the light rays will diverge away and they appear to come from a point which is somewhere over here at a distance of 14 centimeters from lens, okay, 14.3 centimeters from lens. So, that is the idea, students, but as I told you, we are not here to find the final image, we have to find the final image, but our goal here is to find the height of image. So, that is what we will have to calculate. Height of object is known to us. So, we need to calculate magnification, right. So, I will use the successive magnification formula, which is M1 into M2 into M3, M1 into M2 into M3. So, if I substitute the values M1 for the first lens for light which is travelling in this direction, object distance is minus 20, image distance is minus 10. So, what should I write? Minus 10 by minus 20 multiplied by. So, for plane mirror, what does a plane mirror do? Will plane mirror produce any magnification? No, right. Magnification produced by plane mirror, we can consider that to be 1, correct. So, you do not have to once again write a formula for that. Then third case, in third case, what is the magnification produced by the lens once again? For the third case, object distance is minus 50, which is what we substituted here. So, minus 50 is the object distance, minus 100 by 7 is image distance. So, minus 100 by 7 is V by U minus 50. So, that is it. So, simplifying this, minus 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 gets cancelled and you will eventually get the value as. So, here we have 20, 0 and 0 gets cancelled, 2 into 50 is 100, 100 gets cancelled and you will get 1 by 7. So, magnification is 1 by 7, object height is 1 millimeter, which means image height will be, you can write it down here, height of image is equal to magnification times height of object. So, magnification is 1 by 7 and height of object is 1 millimeter. So, 1 by 7 millimeters should be the answer. Clear? Students, now we will discuss something called as displacement method, right. So, this is the apparatus, this is an experiment basically which we perform. So, displacement method is generally used for calculating focal length of a given lens, calculating focal length of lens. So, this is the experimental setup which we generally use for doing that. A very simple apparatus, we have an object, so anything it could be, generally we generally consider it to be some object which is glowing, so that we can clearly see the image. So, let us say a candle, right, and a lens. So, a lens, that lens which we need to find the focal length of will be mounted onto a movable case, movable object, clear. So, this is let us say some sort of object which can move like this, the lens will be placed onto that and we can slide that, right. Basically we can change the position of the lens between the screen and the object. So, remember that object is fixed, so object is not going to be changed, screen is also fixed. So, the only moving thing in this apparatus is the lens. So, I can adjust the position of the lens, clear. So, that is the basic scenario. Now, let us take some values here, I mean parameters which we take usually. So, this distance between object and screen is represented with a capital D. Capital D is the distance between screen and object. Now, let us consider that the distance between object and the lens is u, right, which will automatically make the distance between lens and the screen d minus u. Okay. Now, the first thing that we will be doing here is to adjust the position of lens to obtain a sharp image on the screen, clear. So, what basically is happening here is that we will be first moving this lens at different positions. So, what you will observe is at one particular position the image of this is clearly observable on the screen. So, sharp image basically means that the image which is formed is very clear. So, if you move the lens away from it, I mean from this position away, once again the clarity will be missing in the image, or if you move towards, the clarity will be missing, clear. So, only at one particular position, as you are moving it, so you will observe that the image is very clear. So, that position is what, that image is what we call as a sharp image. And when will a sharp image be formed? When the object distance is this and this length is exactly equal to image distance, clear. What I am trying to say is, if you have a lens, so you know that for a particular lens every u value has a value of v for which image is formed, which means if I take a light ray which is incident in this manner and in this manner, so you know that these light rays will exactly converge at a distance of v. So, if let us say this is where the image is formed. So, what will happen is that if this is object O, so you will observe a sharp image only when the screen is placed at that image location. So, if this is the screen, so only when the screen is exactly at the image location, you will see a sharp image. Otherwise, what will happen is that the image formed on the screen will be blurry. You can't understand the details of the image, clear. So, This is the basic idea. If u is the object distance and v is the image distance, and if the screen is exactly at the location where the image is formed, we obtain a sharp image. So, that is the basic meaning here for sharp image. Clear? Okay. So, here we are not going to change the screen, we are going to adjust the position of lens, right. So, that is what happens, which from this what I can say is, if I take u as the object distance, so if u is the object distance, then can I automatically say d minus u will be the image distance. So, d minus u will be image distance, and the reason for that I have just told you now, because we are adjusting it to a position where we are obtaining a sharp image on the screen. So, which means the light rays which are coming from here, which strike the lens, will exactly go and converge on the screen. So, that is why the image of this will be formed on the screen sharply. Clear? Okay. So, that is the basic idea. So, let me erase this once again. So, this is not required for now. Okay. So, this is our apparatus. So, now we need to find the focal length, correct. So, we have u, we have d minus u, right. Okay. So, all I will have to do now, we will have a scale also here, there will be a scale automatically placed on the table itself. So, whenever you move a lens to a particular position, you can clearly see what is the distance between the lens and the object on the scale which is beneath it, clear. So, we will basically know the distance. Now, using object distance and image distance, we can easily calculate the focal length of the lens. We know that 1 by v minus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f, correct. Now, let us substitute the values here. See, this d is known to us and this u is known to us, which will automatically mean d minus u is also known to us. So, I know u, I know d minus u, I need to find f. So, let us quickly substitute the values. So, I get 1 by v is plus d minus u, correct, minus 1 by u is, because object distance is this, light rays are going this way, should be substituting it as minus u is equal to 1 by f. Okay. So, let us simplify this further and see what I will get. So, in this scenario, this becomes plus, okay. So, when it becomes plus, if I take LCM, I would be getting u plus d minus u divided by product of these two parameters, which is du minus u square, correct students. So, this is equal to 1 by f. Now, just simplify this to find the value of f. You will get f is equal to du minus u square divided by what is that in the numerator, u and u gets cancelled, d. So, that is it. So, that would be the focal length of the lens, right. So, if I know the distance at which the lens is for the sharp image being formed, so I can directly use that and I can directly substitute that into this expression and find the focal length of lens, clear. So, that is the idea. So, now let us try to observe this relation clearly. So, if you take this relation, there is still more analysis that needs to be done on this particular expression. So, let us see that. So, if I rearrange the terms in this expression, I would be getting u square minus ud, u square minus ud plus df is equal to 0, correct. I have just rearranged the terms. So, which is a quadratic equation, and you all know that every quadratic equation has two roots. This is a quadratic equation in u, which means I have two values of u for which this becomes 0, or I have two values of u for which an image is formed on the screen exactly, correct. That is what it means. Okay, let us first understand why we have two values. Why am I getting two values? See, if this length is u, I know that the image of this object will be exactly formed on the screen. Now, that equation is telling me that the image is exactly formed on the screen for another value of u also. And what is that another value of u, and why are we having two values of u? So, now our question is two values of u. How? Or what does that mean? Now, that is pretty easy to understand also. This is something which you have known from the starting of this chapter itself, which is reversibility. Okay. Now, what is the connection between these two? Can you think on your own? So, what this means is that, see, if there is a light ray which is incident in this manner from the object, and if it goes and converges over here on the image, can I say if light ray is coming from here in the opposite direction, it will exactly reach this position. So, what that means is that for object distance of u, if we are getting an image distance of d minus u, then what does the concept of reversibility tell us? If the object distance is u, I am getting image distance as d minus u. If I am placing the object here and the screen here, then also the image will be exactly a sharp image, because we can use the concept of the reversibility of light ray. So, if light ray is incident in this manner, it will exactly come and converge over here, this light ray and another light ray which we take. I hope you understand this. So, what I am trying to say is, for an object distance of u, if the image distance is d minus u, then we can say for sure that if d minus u is the object distance, image distance will be u. And you can easily say that these are the two values. So, these are the two values which will be the roots of that equation. Clear? For sure, which you can directly check also. You can see what is the sum of the roots of this equation. So, what is the sum of roots? So, you know that sum of roots of a quadratic equation is how much? Minus b by a, right. So, minus b is d by a is 1. So, d, sum of the roots is d. So, you can say that if one root is u, then the other root is d minus u. Is that clear? So, that is it, students. So, we have two locations for which we get a sharp image. So, that is the basic idea. So, this lens will produce a sharp image for two different positions. So, one position, if it is at u from here, the other position will be at u from screen. So, please understand that if one position is u from the object, the other position will be u from screen. So, that is the concept here. Now, once again, please observe carefully, this is very important. So, if you look at this expression, I have told you that this expression will have two roots, and you all know that, you have all learnt in quadratic equations that for a quadratic equation to have two roots, two real roots, right, what is the condition? Its discriminant should be greater than 0, right. So, only when the discriminant of this is greater than 0, it will have more than, two real roots. So, let us write the condition for that. What is the discriminant of this equation? B square minus 4ac. B square is d square minus 4, a is 1, c is df. Correct? This is the discriminant of the equation. So, this should be greater than 0. When this is greater than 0, I will get two real roots, two positions for sharp image. So, if you simplify this, you can see that d and d gets cancelled, and you will be getting the condition as d greater than 4f. So, students, this is what we have seen, right. So, for two sharp images or two positions for sharp image, this is the condition: separation between the object and the screen should be greater than 4 times the focal length. Now, so if this is equal to 0, then here d will become equal to 4f. You know that when the discriminant becomes 0, we get only one position, right? Only one position. So, when d is equal to 4f, why are we getting only one position for the image? The reason is something like this. So, in that scenario, you will observe that if this is the screen and if this is where the object is. So, you know this already, right? When the object is at a distance of 2f, the image will be also formed at a distance of 2f. So, that is this scenario. So, this will be 2f and this will be 2f. So, the image is formed on the screen in this manner. So, the light rays which are striking the lens will go and converge on the mirror, sorry, on the screen, and this length will be 2f and this length will be 2f. So, that is what this scenario represents. Now, what is going to happen if d square is less than 4df, which means d less than 4f? It means that no solution for that. No solution means sharp image cannot be obtained. Cannot be obtained. Clear, students? So, whenever you are performing this using this displacement method for calculating the focal length, so it will only work, it will only be helpful for us if the separation between object and the screen is greater than 4f. So, only under this condition we can use displacement method. Okay. Now, if you recollect the earlier table which I have written, we have seen that if u is the object distance, then image distance is d minus u, and if d minus u is the object distance, then image distance is u. So, two different sharp images are formed, right. So, if I assume that the magnification of the first sharp image is m1 and magnification of the second sharp image is m2, clear. Now, if I write the value of m1, you know that the lens formula is what? It is V by U, right. So, V by U. So, if I substitute the values, I will get, in the first case, this is the first sharp image and this is the second sharp image. For the first sharp image, the magnification will be d minus u by u, but whenever you are substituting u, you should substitute with a negative sign, correct, because you know, right, if this is the lens, object is on this side, image length is positive, object length is negative, right. So, this is how you should substitute. So, this will be the magnification for the first image. What is the magnification for the second image? That would be image distance is plus u and object distance is minus of d minus u, clear. So, that is the idea. So, now if you observe these two, you can clearly understand that these two are inverse, right. Whatever is this, this is the inverse of that. So, which will eventually tell us that m1 into m2 is equal to 1. This is a very, very important relation. The two sharp images which are formed in the displacement method will have the product of their magnifications as 1, or to put it in a different way, we can write h1 by ho. If I write magnification of first image as height of first image by height of object multiplied by m2, if I write it as height of second image by height of object, I will eventually get h1 h2 is equal to h naught square. Clear, students? So, that is the basic idea here. So, these are some results which you will have to keep in mind. So, they can ask you questions like this. So, let us take one question based on this, right. So, they have given that in displacement method the ratio of heights of the two sharp images is 9. Find the focal length of the lens if d is equal to 120 centimeters. D means distance between screen and object. Okay. So, they have given us the value of h1 by h2 as 9, correct. Okay. So, we know that this expression can be understood as h1 by h object divided by h2 by h object. Can you write it like that? I am just dividing both numerator and denominator with h object. So, this is equal to 9. Now, what is h1 by h object? That is nothing but magnification 1 and this is magnification 2, which is 9. So, the ratio of the two magnifications is 9, and we already know that in the displacement method the product of magnifications will be equal to 1. So, if the product is 1 and the ratio is 9, by simplifying that you can easily understand that one of the magnifications is 3 and the other magnification is 1 by 3, right. But keep in mind both are negative. So, they are not positive values. Magnification which we get in displacement method, both are negative values, because what is the scenario? We are getting a real image, right. Real image is inverted, or you can understand that if this is the lens which I have drawn here. So, if you look at this lens, see, if this is the image distance is positive, object distance is negative, and magnification means what? V by U. So, one is positive, the other is negative. So, you will definitely be getting a negative magnification. So, now we have the magnification minus 3. So, you know that this is equal to V by U, right. So, simplifying this, you will be getting V is equal to minus 3U, right, and you know that the sum of these two values should be equal to 120 centimeters. So, if you look at this, you will understand that V, let me draw the diagram, it will be clear. So, if this is the object and if this is where the image is formed, this is V, this is U, and from here we understood that the magnitude of V is 3 times the magnitude of U. So, if I assume that the magnitude of U is x, then this is 3x, and we know that the total length is 120 centimeters, correct. So, from that we can easily understand that 4x is equal to 120, which means x is equal to 30 centimeters. So, I will be getting U as 30, or in fact I should write the value of U as minus 30 centimeters, correct students, because object is real, right. So, it will be on this side, and I should be taking the value of V as plus 90 centimeters. So, that is how we can understand. Now, we have the values of U and V. So, you can directly substitute that into the lens equation. 1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F, and you can calculate the value of F. So, what do you get? 1 by 90 minus 1 by minus 30. So, you will be getting, simplifying this will give you F is equal to 90 into 30 by 90 plus 30, which is 120. So, 30 ones 34s, you get 90 by 4, which is 45 by 2, which is 22.5 centimeters. Clear? So, that should be the answer. So, that is how we apply displacement method. So, we will see few more examples in next class, right. And after this we have few more concepts like power, cutting of lens, as well as silvering of lens. So, if you have a lens like this and if you silver one surface, which means if you make one surface of that reflecting. So, how we deal with such cases, we will discuss that in next class.